Greetings, traveller. May the blessings of Mara be upon ye. Please come in and make yourself at home. For lack of a bard, I'll regale ye with some stories from our personal library here at the inn. Let's begin with one of my favourites, of Fjori and Holgeir. In the 29th summer of life, Fjori the huntress met the warlord Holgeir on the field of battle. None remember what they fought over, for their love to come was so great it overshadowed all rivalries or disputes. They fought to a standstill, as their followers looked on, till her sword broke his axe, and his shield dulled her blade, and all could see that they were equals. As the eagle finds its mates, so too did Fjori and Holgeir, and the time of peace came to the clans of the forest. But as the summer warmth gives way to winter's chill, so too this peace would pass. But the snake came and bit Holgeir, its venom seeping deep into the wound. A wail greeted Fjori's view as she came over the snow-covered mountains to the coast. She obtained an elixir from Akavir and returned to the forest in haste. Though Holgeir could smell the winds of Sovngarde, she gave him the elixir and he was cured in an instant. But the snake bit Fjori as she poured the last drop into Holgeir's mouth, and fatigued from her journey, she joined the ancestors immediately. Holgeir's grief was such that he built a tomb upon completion, and took his own life that he might rejoin her. Such a sad and romantic tale, don't you think? Let's read the next one. How about an old ghost story, Deathbrand, a pirate's tale. Hacknir Deathbrand was dying. For Garuk Windrum, ship's quartermaster, it was unthinkable. His grandfather had served under Hacknir, nigh on 60 years before, and even then he was a legend among the pirates of the north. The king of ghosts, they called him, as eternal and pitiless as the sea that they sailed. To Garuk, who had seen him charge into battle, clad in armour of gleaming stalwart like the kings of old, his twin sword scything men like grass, Hacknir was practically a god. But none feared Hacknir more than his own crew. They knew his rages, his fits of madness, how he delighted in torture and murder for its own sake. And there were even darker rumours. Some said he fed upon the blood and souls of those he killed to extend his unnatural life. Some thought him to be a Daedra, loosed upon the mortal world. And others said he owed his life and his power, his armour and swords, to a pact made with Dagon, Prince of Destruction. And the seal of that pact was the terrible wound that scarred his face, never to heal, the Deathbrand, which no man could look upon without flinching. All these things ran through Garuk's mind as he took his place on the deck of the head of the crew, exchanging a curt nod with Thalin, the ship's helmsman and his chief rival. By sundown, he thought one of them would be the captain, the other would be dead. When Hacknir finally emerged from his cabin, the crew fell silent. He looked frail, his voice raspy. But even so, he had a presence about him. As he looked over his men, the most brutal murderers ever to ply the northern seas, not one could meet his gaze. At last he sighed. "You wish to know who will be my successor, and how my share of the treasure shall be divided?" That was the question. But even so, there were murmurs of protest. Hacknir cut them off. "All these years, I have looked for one who was worthy to take my place, or strong enough to take it from me. Not one of you even comes close, and so none of you shall have it." He extended his hand. "In Dagon's name, I place a curse upon my armour, and my swords, this ship and all it carries. Until the day that one of you can best me in combat, ye shall not have a single coin." He looked up at them. "Be grateful I have left you with your lives." Garuk and Thalin shared a single glance. Had anyone else said such a thing, there would have been mutiny. 100 treasure-mad pirates against one old man. But this was Hackney. The crew was silent. Hackney threw a map at Garuk's feet. "Garuk, take a longboat and bury my armor in the places I have marked. Thalin, we sail to my tomb, where you shall leave me and my gold. Then burn your ships, and do as you will. I am your captain no more." And with that, he turned and stalked back to his quarters. At daybreak, Garuk took his leave and set out in a longboat with 3 of his men. They landed on a shoal to the north of Solstheim, at the place Hackney had marked, made camp and began to dig. But already, greed stirred in Garuk's heart. Time and time again, he glanced at the iron-bound chest they had brought with them. The old man was gone, perhaps to be dead. His orders foolish. That night, Garuk pried open the chest and drew out the helm within. The stahlroom shimmered in the moonlight. It was time. Time for a new king of ghosts to rise. He placed the helmet on his head, and he screamed. It is said that you can still hear the screaming on moonlit nights on a rocky shoal off the northern coast of Solstheim. All right. I see the excitement of a pirate's ghost did not suit you very well. Let's read one more to keep you rested for the night, yeah? All right. This one's called Changed Ones. Of all the Adaida who wanted none, Trinimac was the strongest. He, for a very long time, fooled the Aldemiri into thinking that tears were the best response to the sundering. They cried and shamed their ancestors, especially the feminine Altmer. They even took the missing god's name in vain, calling his narratives into question. So one day, Boethath, Prince of Plots, precocious youth, tricked Trinimac to go into his mouth. Boethath talked like Trinimac for a while then, and gathered enough people to listen to him. Boethath showed them the lies of Ataida and Aedra, and told them Trinimac was the biggest liar of all, saying all this with Trinimac's voice. Boethath told the mass before him the triangled truth. He showed them with Mephala, the rulers of the Sidjikandeva. He taught him how to build houses, and what items they needed to bury in the corners. He demonstrated the right way to wear the skin. He performed the way to walk to achieve an exodus. Then Boethath relieved himself of Trinimac right there on the ground before them to prove all the things he said were true. It was easy for his new people to become one with the Changed Ones. All right then, traveller. Hush now and get yourself off to sleep then. When you wake in the morning, we'll talk about some rumours that be floating around the town, yeah? Rest now. May the Nine keep you safe as you sleep through the night.